I'm Mr. Malibu. Welcome to this exclusive Malibu HD Power News with Tim Gallwey. Tim has produced a series of top-selling inner game books, which has set forth a new methodology in personal and professional excellence in a wide variety of fields. Tim has spent the last 20 years introducing the inner game approach to corporations who are looking for better ways to manage change. Tim, I read your book and found it to be really practical. It has a tactical sense to it, something that I can do about stress. How would you differentiate this approach that you describe in your book from the Googled 37 million how to deal with stress responses?
It's a lot of Googles on stress. Shows that there's a lot of stress around. And I think that's not a surprise to anyone. Probably we all experience more stress in our lives than we would like. It's almost become part of the human condition. And it's frustrating to us as human beings because we're designed to be in homeostasis, to be in balance. We're designed to enjoy our lives. And the fact is we go about our business, day-to-day basis, our work, our relationships, even our recreation, and we find ourselves getting into the fight or flight mode of stress without wanting to. And we end up thinking it's just necessary. And the book really says it's not necessary. It's not a necessary part of the human condition. It's part of the mammalian condition, the animal condition, whose brain that we share, the mammalian brain, was designed to fight or flee a threat to its survival. And that did certain physiological things that made fighting or flying, or the third one, freezing, very possible. But we go around life as if, I guess in our egos, that we think it's always at risk of survival. We think any failure is at risk to our survival, any prospect of failure, any challenge to our self-esteem or our esteem in the eyes of others is a threat to our inner survival, and we go into stress about it. More than 50% of the conditions that people go to general practitioners for, health practitioners for, are stress related. So it's a serious problem that's not just going to be solved by take a drug here, take a pharmaceutical here, get some exercise, eat right. Those can be necessary things in the whole battle against stress. But really you need to get at the cause. Where does stress come from? How come we're in so much of it, so much of the time, and deal with the stress at that level?
How do you introduce the understanding to somebody who is maybe in a lot of stress, but it doesn't occur to them that the stress maker is actually coming from the inside? And how do you get that kind of understanding to a person? It seems as though they would really benefit from reading this book if they just had the option that, hey, this is a tactic that I could employ to deal with this, as like you're saying, as opposed to doing exercise.
Well, it's interesting. One of the tools in the book is called the control questions. And it suggests that you're going to be a lot saner and a lot more productive if you deal with those things that you do control and don't bother so much with those things you don't control. And you don't really control a lot of what happens to you, but you do control you can control how you respond to those things that happen. And it's in our response, it's in our interpretation of what's happening I mean, take it down to simple event of a tennis ball coming right towards your backhand, which is your weakness. And instead of seeing it as a ball that has a certain speed and a certain velocity, you say, uh-oh, here comes a mistake. Here comes something I'm likely to miss. Here comes a threat to my survival as a tennis player. And you stiffen up, you tighten, you slash away at the ball. The ball doesn't go so well under those conditions. And you say, I really do have a bad backhand. So you reinforce the self-image. So if you can understand that there's something we call the stress maker in all of us that sees situations as threats to ourselves. And that triggers the whole stress response that in animals was designed to be short-lived. And with humans, we're living with it, that we can become aware that we're interpreting events in a certain way that causes stress.
So I've found that because of the incredible accelerating pace, the way things are happening, especially with the internet and this, Twitter real-time, news going on, there seems to be an imbalance, such an imbalance that when like you're saying, when I encounter something that appears to be a threat to my ability to play tennis or my ability to whatever, that it's based on a long-term momentum. And I'm thinking about how to counterbalance that momentum by my interpretation, just like you were saying when the ball's coming to my backhand. How can I balance the interpreter inside of me that's taking in this information and saying, I want to interpret it to my benefit.
Right.
That this backhand's coming to my benefit. Maybe I can learn something here.
Right.
Or maybe I got fired because it's for my benefit. Or maybe my car broke down. Things that normally cause stress could actually become to my benefit. Do you have tactics for that, for the balance?
Well, definitely that's brings to mind the stop tool. And the stop tool, we call it the mother of all tools, because without that, you're going to go with the momentum. And the stop tool means exactly what it says. Stop. Stop the momentum. The mental momentum, the emotional momentum, the physical activity momentum for a second, maybe 5 seconds. Enough time to step back. The S in stop is step back out of it, out of the it that you're involved in, so that you can think clearly. What am I really trying to accomplish here? How do I want to feel during the accomplishment of this goal? And you get clear really on what you really want. This conversation could be called a stop for people. They're stopping the stress to think, well, do I really need to have this much stress in my life? They're thinking about it. Hopefully they're organizing those thoughts and will proceed back into action without having to carry so much stress. That's certainly the intention of the book.